Hello, how are you today? My name is James, Coach Comeback Holland, and today I got something exciting. I'm going to show you how and why I'm going to pay you to learn real estate. So if you haven't already known, you can go to realestatecpr.com and you can see my best-selling, great reviews people love, my real estate 10K and 60-day course. So the course we did a little while back, or showing a system of how, basically how real estate's changed my life and how I've been using the system for years when the market crashed and everyone was yelling, the sky is falling and get out of real estate because, no one's buying and all that. This system helped me to rebuild and learn how a new way of investing and buying and selling properties that required zero risk at all, meaning no loans, no banks, no credit, no one cared what you had, your investment. It didn't matter what the market was doing, market immune. Didn't matter where you were living. This system worked virtually, so you could be on the beach in the Bahamas, or you could be in Singapore. It did not matter because you never have to go look at any properties. You never have to pick up a hammer. Never do any of the physical work yourself, and you're able to buy and sell and flip properties for profit. So it was the 10K and 60-day system. So what we're going to do here is something unique, an idea that I am totally not taking credit for. Someone mentioned this to me, another student came up with this idea, and I absolutely loved it. As I mentioned, if you're on the emails, that I get approached, almost daily, but with different offers and things that we want to be a part of, and nothing really excites me because a lot of it's just been done. This is so unique. I've never heard anyone doing this before, so it immediately got my attention, and I loved it. The idea was, what if we paid everyone who joined the course? So not only, you're going to join a training course, but no one's ever paid the people back out of the profits that they made. So it's more like a joint venture together. So that's part one of the reason why this is going to be so freaking unique, is because we're going to pay you, all the members who join anyway, because we're only going to let a few in, obviously, because the less people we let in, the more we can pay out. So that's the first part of this uniqueness. I know, as far as I've ever seen, I've never seen anyone create a course, a training, go through the process of doing it live to prove it actually works, and then out of all the money that is made from the case study, going to share a portion of the revenue with the people who have joined the training. That is just insane. I've never seen it done, and that's why it got my attention. The second phase of this, which makes it more exciting, is, so the big problem with a lot of courses, I know you've probably heard that people take training courses and 90% of them never complete it or take action, and I'm sure the statistic is probably even higher than that. There's lots of reasons. Shiny object syndrome is a big one that gets tossed around, and that's the fact that you try it for a little bit and then you don't have a result, by yesterday. You get another email the following day that shows you some other new system, and you give up on that one and you try the new one because that sounds exciting, and then the very next day or a couple days later, you see another new system, and that also sounds just as exciting, so you want to try that too. And now you're getting pulled in 100 different directions. You never really see one thing all the way through, and you don't get any success. I have this problem. I know many people have this problem. It's not uncommon at all. I mean, I easily get excited about other things like that because I just get enthusiastic by nature and optimistic by different ideas and things like this too. So one of the main reasons why we can get easily distracted and want to try something new is because either we don't fully believe in the system or we don't fully believe in ourselves. We don't think it can actually get done, because if we could see the result and knew that eventually we would get there, then nothing would make us falter. It's kind of like driving a car. Again, I use this analogy. If we were driving across the country, it's going to take 5 days, but if we drive, for 2 hours and go, I can't even see the destination, it doesn't even feel like we're any closer, I'm going to go back and then try a different way and see if that works. And then we drive for another 4 or 5 hours and go, I'm going to go back. I can't see any results yet. I don't know if I'm getting closer to the other state I'm trying to get to. I'm going to go back to the beginning and try a different way. That sounds insane when you think about that, but that's what it is. That's what happens when we try a new, marketing method or way to make money or something every single day. We try it for a little bit, we don't see a result, and we start over. But if we're driving, we know, because we believe deep down, we know that we're getting closer. We know that eventually we will get there. So it makes sense for us to not stop and start over. But when you're doing something like this online and you don't really believe in it and you can't really tell what's working in the background that you're getting closer, that's what causes us to quit, give up, and start over and not really see something through, because we don't really see it as starting over from scratch because we couldn't really see the progress to begin with. So the second part of what's going to make this so exciting, and my hope for you is why this is going to make it more exciting, is I'm going to try to fix that part where you believe that you can do it, where you can see yourself achieving this. So part of the reason people don't fully relate to it is because they sometimes, maybe not you, but sometimes you see the product creator as someone who's not real. So, one of my mentors, the people I look up to, I really like Dan Kennedy. So it's easy for Dan Kennedy to, for him to show a client saying, look, I sent out one direct mail letter and, I got a $100,000 client, the very next day. Well, it's easy for me to go, well, you're Dan Kennedy. You've been doing this for 50 years. You're a brand. You're a name. Everyone knows you. So, of course, it's going to work for you, but it isn't going to, it isn't going to work for me. I don't know anyone. I don't have any contacts. Nobody knows me. And we talk ourselves out of believing it because we say, oh, yeah, of course you can do it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do it because, you're so much better. So, even though I may say, 1,000 times, I'm nobody, I'm just James. I started out exactly where you are. I can say I'm just like you. I had, no college, graduated high school, just learned everything from books and trial and error, but I still get it. I still get people saying, well, of course you've got all the experience. Of course you can flip a property in 30 days or 60 days starting from scratch because you've already done it. You already know the system. You know how it works. So it doesn't ring as believable as because I'm doing it, because you don't see yourself in me. You don't feel like you can relate because you're like, oh, it's James or whatever. He's the one who's doing it. So the second part that we're trying to do with this is I'm going to take someone else. Instead of me just doing another case study in live and showing me flip a property, I want you to be able to prove how much that you can do this by taking someone else who is brand new, no real estate background, no history, no credit, no intelligence, no personality, no sense of humor, no skills. I was hoping I could find someone who, couldn't even speak English and didn't know how to type or own a computer, too, to really make it exciting. But no, instead, I'm just going to try to find someone who seems the most average, regular person that you guys can all relate to, and do that live. So that maybe if you see, okay, look, he took this person who started from nothing, has no background in real estate, has no history, they didn't have any big loans, had awful credit, like, man, everything looks just like me. Maybe I can do this. So that is what's going to happen here. So that's the 2.3 phases to this new thing that we are going to get started. And it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm just reading some of the comments. because we are going to pick one person who I feel is the most inept and and the hardest to train, and most irresponsible, and person who doesn't listen or follow through, and really flaky and something like that. We'll try to find someone, complete dullard. If I choose you, don't feel bad. You're making the sacrifice for a great cause, and that is to prove that anyone can do this. I just have a great feeling about this. I have a feeling like this is going to be a pinnacle of helping so many people when they see that, it can take anyone off the streets, which they said, it's a reminder, if you've ever heard of Robert Allen's The Challenge, he did this, it might have been early 80s, and it was in the newspaper and everything. He did it twice. The first one was put me in any city with nothing but my wallet, no contacts, no phone, anything, and $100 in my pocket, and I will buy a property in 30 days or something like that. That was the original challenge. And then that took off, and that's what kind of got him a lot of big success back then. And then he did the challenge again years later, saying this exact same thing. People were like, oh, of course you've bought and sold. You have so much experience. You've bought and sold properties. Of course you can do it. So he said, this time, give me anyone off the streets, no money, no job, no education, and I will show them, and they will buy a property within 30 days. So he went to the unemployment line, picked somebody who was in the line, had no education, just waiting to get unemployment or try to get a job or something like that, took someone out of there, worked with them personally, teaching them and training them, taught them the system, and had them buy a property. And that really something that got my attention way back in the day, and that's what made me think of this when I was approached with this idea. So that is what we're going to do here. That is the two phases of it. So one, we're going to take some dullard off the street, some lucky, enthusiastic, willing participant. Might get quite a few people who apply, but I'm only going to take one, obviously, for the case of this. If I find a way that it is possible, because I know I'm going to get emails of saying more people who want the coaching rather than just to be the case study. So there's two parts of it. There's going to be, you can either be the case study or you can join this case study when I give you the instructions on how to join, because it is going to be, I'm only going to take 25, because as I did the numbers, that way the less people can only take 25 people in, and we close a deal for, $10,000 or something, and then we split a portion of that is going to go back. The less people we let in, the more you're going to get back from your fee when you're learning. So you're going to get the education, you're going to learn the system, you're going to also see it happening live, and then for sticking through it, following all the way through to the end of us closing a deal, you're going to get a portion of profits and your money back. So that is the three phases to the system. You're going to get the training first. You're going to get to watch it happen live from someone who has no experience and is brand new, and you're going to get a portion of the profits back. Should be more than enough proof, everything you will need to be able to go on and use this system pretty much for the rest of your life. I still don't see the system ever not working, because again, it's not based on the trends, it's not based on the market, it's not specific to a certain geographical location. Once you understand the concept of how this works, you can do this anywhere, and quite honestly, in any business. It is if you know the term of arbitrage, it is a simple form of using that for buying and selling real estate, but honestly, it can work in any business once you understand it. I know it won't make sense until you see the training and understand the different ways, and sure, there's different tactics for different businesses that's going to cause it to work, but I'm saying the overall structure and the idea behind it, the concept, the main concepts of it, you'll see that just makes sense. They're universal concepts for running any business, and it'll never stop working. So again, I learned this system years ago and been using it ever since, whenever you want. There's no long setup, no long turnaround. You can stop, if you decide you're going to take a few months off, a year off, and explore writing or internet marketing, don't do it. But if you want to say you're going to explore some other stuff and you happen to take a year off from real estate and want to explore some other ventures and take art classes or do something and then come back to this, you can turn it back on and pick up right where you left off. And what we're going to try to prove, less than 30 days or less than 60 days to be ideal, but we're going to try to really push through this. So one final recap before I open it up to the questions. One lucky person, or possibly two, if I feel I'm able to take two people at the same time and document the case study, because it's going to be up to the person who joins to going to be counting on you as well as other people to follow through, be able to follow instructions, be able to take action, not be afraid of getting uncomfortable and doing things like making phone calls and maybe negotiating a deal on the phone or contacting, high-value investors and things like that. If these things frighten you and you're afraid of making big money deals on the phone and you're going to get nervous and back out, this might not be for you. But so the person I take in got to have a little bit of technical knowledge. Maybe, got to be able to say, maybe record a YouTube video or Hangout or something if you don't have any screencast software or anything, because you're going to need to document everything that you're doing. Everything that we talk about, our calls and all the training, you're going to need to document everything that you do when I'm not around. And then once a week, like this, we're going to do a live call, a recap of everything we've done that week, and take questions and answer questions from the other 25 members who have joined. We're going to do that once a week until we close the deal. That's the thing, is we're not going to stop until a deal is closed. So, ideally we're going to, the challenge that I'm putting to myself and to the student is we're going to do it in under 30 days. But the promise we're going to do to you is that we're not going to stop until a deal is closed. So you will get something back. If we do it in a week, that's even more than exciting. That would be the ultimate proof. And of course I want that to happen, because the better we do, the more awesome it makes me look, right? And more proof that you will be able to do it. So it's going to be first come, first serve. That's the best, obviously it's the fairest way that we can do it. Once we get enough people, we're going to shut it down, or I'll start a waiting list, and if this goes really good, I'll just do it for the next phase. So after this one, we do this one and it happens to go good and we close the deal and it's done, then maybe I'll pick another random person and we'll do it all over again. That's the best way I think of. I can be fair to get everyone if we happen to fill up crazy fast. So not really sure. We did get a lot of interest in the emails that was sent out before this, and pretty excited about it. So, it's going to be, like I said, first come, first serve. You can join at, let me just put the link up, and then we'll take any questions. Well, for the people who are live on the call, we'll take any questions that anyone may have. So I'll put you can join, more information to figure out how to join, be the first 25 to get in. Go to coachflex.com/thechallenge, and you will see all the information about how to get in, and then I'll start to take any questions. And for some reason, this does not want to move. How about that? Yeah, there we go. Good enough. So go to coachflex.com/thechallenge. What is going on here? My first day using a computer. Thought there was a space in there. Not that you could click it anyway. Not sure why that mattered. So coachflex.com/thechallenge. Once we fill up, I said I'll just start a waiting list, and we'll do it again. We'll let you notify if we open this up. We'll see how this goes. But that's it. That's how it's going to work. I'll say it again. One quick recap. you can either be the case study or you can join the case study. So, like I said, if you've known before, if you've been a part of the 10K program, you know that program has sold from anywhere, depending on the levels you get in, from 1,000 to 5,000 plus for the 10K advanced real estate system. But you can find the overview at realestatecpr.com. If you haven't already seen that training, you can see the entire process and a walkthrough at Real Estate CPR. And you can register and you can see the full training. But if you wanted to go to the advanced version, you know that you may already know that for personal coaching of this nature, this advanced, to be able to see it, the lowest it's ever been sold for is $1,000, and it goes up from there depending on the level. So to be able to get this at this price, of being able to either see the case study and watch it, which is essentially all the full training you're going to get to see that's in the main course, or to be able to get personal coaching, which I've never offered personal one-on-one coaching for this low, because obviously this is going to be really time-consuming for me to be one-on-one with this person and make sure they get the result, pushing them and helping them through it. Also recording it, making the videos, and being able to present it for you. So it's crazy time consuming, which is why I don't typically do this for this price, and why I don't take multiple people at one time. We usually only take a handful of personal coaching at one time, but usually when I'm doing personal coaching, I'm not having to record it and reshare it. So, like I said, this is something new. Never done this before. I'm excited about it. I've never offered it for this low before. But if you're interested in that, you can go to coachlife.com/the-challenge. Like I said, the first 25 that get in, or if you want to be the person who is the challenge, then you'll see the details on how to do that. So now we'll go to questions. We'll see if anyone has any questions, but that is the full details. I couldn't explain all of that in an email or video, so I wanted to just do this with you here. So if you're watching this video or listening to it, that is the full explanation of everything that we're going to be doing and why it's so exciting. You get the training at a discount. You get to watch, follow along. You get to see someone who's brand new with no experience, start from scratch. So the less qualified you are, the more likely I'm going to pick you if you want to be part of it. And unheard of, never seen, never done before to my knowledge. Once we close the deal, you are going to get a portion of the sale. So is that exciting or what? I'm excited. So hopefully you are too. So let's go to some questions. See if there's not many. Someone says they didn't have sound the whole time. Was it the drop-down box was set to dial in? I don't know why the default on Meeting Burner on this site makes the drop-down to dial in when most people are coming at it from the computer. So yeah, sorry about that. Not everybody knows you got to click that thing to change it to computer sound. Let's see. So one question is, I just saw, whoops, I should be not going in reverse order, but one question just popped up, said, who is financing the deal? That's a great question. I like that one. Thank you for that question, Pamela. So that is the reason why I said this system is so brilliant and anyone can do it. Because the way we set it up, there's no financing needed. I know it seems weird to explain it, but if you go to realestatecpr.com and watch that training, I have a full 6 or 7 module walkthrough that shows you the whole system so that it makes sense. But essentially, there's no financing needed at all. The best way I can say a short version is we work with partners who have cash. We don't use any banks. There's no banks involved in this process. So if we get approached by a buyer who is, a traditional home buyer who, wife and 3.5 kids and 4 dogs, and they're looking for a house to buy for their family, and they have their 30-year loan, and they're already approved from Wells Fargo for $400,000, which is what typically happens. They get their pre-approval, then they call an agent, and they start looking at houses. That's not our market. That's not our buyer for quite a few reasons. One is they require inspections. For a bank to give a loan on a property, it has to meet a certain standard. So for traditional, talking about traditional bank loan, it can't be a fixer-upper. Has to pass all of the pest inspections. Everything has to be working in order. There's no liens. There's no back taxes. There's no city ordinances or anything. There's no property line infringements with any neighbors that you have to get taken care of. Everything has to be fixed. Everything has to be up to standard, up to code, and everything for them to get a loan, which causes more stress on the seller who wants to just get rid of the property. Now they are forced to make all these repairs, usually out of their own pocket, in order for the traditional buyer to get a loan. And that is why those people are the ones who are saying, the market is bad because either the banks aren't getting loans or properties are too bad and all this stuff. And then they go back and go, there was a bidding war for this property and I couldn't even got bid up to way over value and I couldn't even get it. The market is just too bad right now. Well, any part of what I just said will have nothing to do with this process at all. We don't deal with any banks. We don't deal with any bank loan buyers. We don't get into any bidding wars because we do properties that are not even on the market. If it's on the MLS and there's an agent involved, we don't even do any of those type of properties. So we find these hidden gems that are off the market, and we only deal with cash investor buyers. And believe me, there are a ton of them in every market and in every industry. Read the book, The Millionaire Next Door. I can't even remember the author at this moment, but there's an old book, classic book called The Millionaire Next Door, where he basically says the premise that, the average, something, whatever, 90% of the wealth is held by, 90% of the wealth in U.S. is held by like 5% of the people or something like that, and they're not the ones with the flashy Lamborghinis and gigantic mansions and all that, that the most average person, most of the millionaires are people with lots of wealth, you wouldn't even know it. They live right next door to you. They drive, regular, nice car. They live in a decent-sized home, and they live comfortably, not lavish and crazy. It's those very few that, try to put on the appearance of a millionaire, and usually they go in debt doing it. They don't own any of their assets. Everything is financed. The true wealthy person lives a regular life where you wouldn't even know that they are, and they own their assets. They're not on credit or finance or anything like that. So Millionaire Next Door, I'm just letting you know that when I say there's these cash investors who have the assets to come and buy and help you flip these properties that we're going to be partnering with, and they have the cash to pay $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for the house right there. They're everywhere. They're right there. They're your next door neighbors. They're right across the street from you. These people are everywhere. You just have to know where to look, and that's where this system shows you exactly where to look. Let's see. So we got another comment that says, dullard, no personality, no sense of humor, I should be a shoo-in. I'm not going to mention this person's name because it's probably pretty accurate and, might not go over too good. So let's see, another question. Is any of this making sense for you so far? I just want to make sure what I said is clear enough. That's what I like when there's not a whole lot of questions. It usually means it's clear. Let's see. Okay, we covered that. That was actually covered in that question. Let's see. The question is, okay, here's one. If you're looking for an unemployed, disabled person who does not live in the U.S. and barely knows the 50 states, I'm your person. That would make it pretty exciting. Like I said, I'm going to, if we get a lot of people who apply, on coachlife.com/thechallenge who actually want to get the coaching, the personal one-on-one, and guaranteeing to flip this deal and agreeing. Remember, you got to agree to take a portion of your profits and give it back to the rest of the members. The more unlikely, the more the odds are stacked up against you, it's going to make it even more exciting. So if that is true, if you are out of the U.S., disabled, and barely speaking English and don't even know the 50 states, and we can still close a deal with you, that would be awesome for you and for me and for the people watching to prove it. Because, anytime someone says this is too hard or I can't do it or I don't believe that this is possible, I can always say, well, we had so-and-so who's disabled, didn't even live in the U.S., with no money, and flipped a deal and made, $17,000 in, 4 or 5 weeks. That's going to be exciting. It's going to be really, really exciting. So we will just see who we end up choosing, depending on the interest and how many people sign up. Again, once you do sign up on that page at coachlife.com/thechallenge, I will, just because you pay them money and you do join, doesn't guarantee your spot. Like I said, if we get a ton of people in, I'm going to have to review them, and then if not, then I'll just return the entrance fee. If I don't feel you're qualified or you're overqualified because you have 10 years experience in real estate or you're an agent or something like that, maybe if it's too qualified, then it'll be, just as valuable as if I just flipped the deal myself. So it might not be as good. I really do want someone who is against all odds or more relate to the average person who may be watching this program. All right, another good question. When you state a portion of the profits goes back to the members, are you referring to the investors or those who signed up with you? I think you're asking, finding the people who are watching this right now and they join the case study to watch the case study and get the training and learn the real estate system. So there's going to be 25 members who are watching the case study, and then one person who is the case study. So say, the one person who is the case study, we go out, I start training them, we're documenting it, showing everything we do. He closes the deal and makes, makes whatever profit on a real estate transaction. He buys and sells. He gets his profit out. Escrow cuts him a check of his part of the deal. He then takes a portion of that deal that he made, and a portion of that is going to go back to the 25 students who joined. I hope that makes sense. So no investors. No, the investors who are part of the real estate transaction, that's completely separate. They're going to make their money on the property. They have nothing to do with this. So, meaning of the 25 members who join, you're going to get the training at crazy low price that you see on that page. That's way lower than, you can't get any of my real estate training for that price. You're going to get the training. You're going to get new training, which is live, that you're going to be able to be a part of on our weekly calls and answer questions live, but you're also going to have your own vested interest in be wanting to root the person on, because when they do close the deal, you're going to get a portion of that profits just for being a part of it and joining in. So I hope that makes sense. But explain that clear enough. If not, you can ask again. And And I said I thought this would be quick video just to explain it really quickly and answer any questions, because trying to explain it in an email or web page wasn't doing it. So I thought I'd just make a live video here, or you may be watching the recording, to answer this new case study live, which will be starting here shortly. You'll get all the information once you join on start date, on when the live calls will be. You'll get to see the process, everything that we'll be doing, and then once we close, you'll get all of your details of all the members who join, and you will get your earnings on the sales as well. So that's why I wanted to get on here and do this and make this video real quick to explain it in full detail and answer any questions. If you still have any other questions, you can email me at thisstuffreallyworks1.0@gmail.com, or add me on Skype. Let's just put them all in. Let's see. It doesn't want to work again. How about this? This stuff really works. Code. That Skype is probably the best. Skype ID. Or just go to, if you go to coachlife.com/adme, that will automatically open up a dialog if you have Skype already open, and that will generate the ad request, and you can ask any questions in Skype. These are the best ways to contact me. Everyone's always asking for Facebook. I do have a Facebook. I hate Facebook Messenger. I never check it. I don't know why. It gets too time consuming. To Skype, I only see messages that are text that are Skype. I go to Facebook and I check a message, and then 45 minutes will go by and I'm still looking at cute puppies and all the other distracting images from the infinite scrolling. So I have to just stay away from Facebook. So you can follow me on Facebook. My Facebook is the same, Here to Inspire. If you would like, I'll put it in there. And you can follow, friend request me if you choose. Just know if you send me a private message with questions, it will be a long time before I respond. I check it maybe once or twice a week for messages. So your best bet is Skype. Skype I check more often than email. Email is second down the line. But Facebook should be absolute last resort. Thank you. There's a typo in the email. That's supposed to be an S. This stuff really works 1.0@gmail. Thank you for catching that. But that is all. That is the explanation. Any questions? We're going to wrap up now. I will end this video here. Just again, you are ready to join this case study live and earn a portion of the profits. Go to coachlife.com/thechallenge, and I will see you inside. Oh, one final question just came in. Once the course is done, will we still be able to contact you on the matter? I don't understand what you mean, but in general, I have the support and Skype group, and I'm always on Skype. Anyone who ever joins any of my courses or training, you always have a way to get a hold of me, either email or Skype. So yes, if you have questions regarding the training or the course or anything you've taken, yes, you'll always still have a one way or another. You'll find a way to be able to get a hold of me or someone who can help you if you have questions about the training. Absolutely, yes. Great question. Got it in right under the gun. Okay, it doesn't look like there are any more questions. So, taking first 25, coachlife.com/thechallenge. I hope you get in, or I hope you be a part of the next challenge if we do choose you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for watching. I'm excited about this, and I hope you are too. See you inside on the challenge.